All right, so
Mhm.
is star voting vulnerable to strategic voting? Something very important, I think, everybody. So let's get our hands raised and some music playing. Yeah. Okay, first to answer our final question here, Chaim, is star voting vulnerable to strategic voting?
No, star voting is not vulnerable to strategic voting. Uh, you evaluate everyone you want to, um, and since everyone has an equal amount of power as a voter, uh, you can uh, you can only add support to as much or as little as you want to the people you wish to support. Um, you in no way can you undermine how the eventual finalists will turn out. So there's no vulnerability to strategic voting.
Excellent answer. Thank you very much, Chaim. Pablo, any more to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it's also transparent for the voter, even if you want to give, for instance, full 5 stars for only one candidate, thinking that that will hinder the possibilities of other candidates. It might not generate the effect that you want because in the end, everybody's using an expressive way of voting, your strategy might just be diluted by the what the whole people is voting because you're actually spoiling your own vote and people might have more to say if they actually evaluate everybody honestly.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. And Ken,
Well, I I think there is a potential strategic vulnerability if you push down a strong opponent by giving them a lower score, like 0 stars, than you actually feel about them. You might be trying to reduce that total score, preventing them from being one of the two finalists. But if your favorite doesn't make the top two, that you could be helping a candidate that you like even less.
correct. Thank you very much for that answer. And Jane, any more to add as an answer?
I mean, I was thinking of this opposite of game theory, and that is it's a known, you can generally run the probabilities for game theory and sort of understand what the possible conclusions are. And I think based on all the stuff that everybody else has said, the transparency, the incentives, the possible risk, I feel like many of the strategic problems you might be trying to cause or the havoc wreaking, the risk of them backfiring seems to be pretty high. And so it seems, I wouldn't call it not possible, but it seems fairly immune. If people were to really want to think about the risks, they're options and trade-offs, the trade-offs could be pretty terrible. So I don't know. Got people have to think about that, and they may want to try strategic voting and try to have an outcome. And maybe the first time it'll backfire, and then they'll realize this. I think there's the one thing that I thought of when I was reading about star voting is that people may believe that they can influence the candidate in a way that's in conflict with what just the people want. And it's going to take a few elections for people to understand how little control they have over those ill-placed moves, I guess. That's to me a
Yeah.
risk. So
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Perfect. That's a lot. That's excellent answer. All right. So we'll take a look at our answer slide. I think everybody was able to give a bits and pieces again. It was awesome. So no, with SAR voting, honesty is the best policy. You don't need to vote strategically to get a fair shake, and strategic voting does not give you an edge, which was mentioned. Best strategy is to give your favorite or favorites a full 5 stars, your least favorite 0 stars, and to show your preference order between the other candidates. No system is perfect, but star voting is not vulnerable to the most damaging and dishonest strategies, and it's more strategy resistant than ranked choice voting, our current system, or many other proposals. So awesome job. I think everybody really hit that. Go ahead, Sarah.
The bonus answer there that nobody got, but you occasionally will meet hecklers out in the wild that know this point. Um, Kenneth Arrow is a scientist who won the Nobel Prize for proving that no voting method can be created that eliminates all strategic incentives in every single scenario. So that's called Arrow's theorem. But star voting makes that strategic voting not actionable. So you would need kind of godlike understanding of what everyone else is going to do in order to leverage those games.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a great peer-reviewed article that now backs up everything on that slide. If you go to equal.vote/peer_review, you can get the deep dive on all of that.